Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and this is my ARMAT M56A2 Smartgun. It is chambered in Nerf Rival and fires 150 FPS, around 20 rounds per second, from a 2,000 round backpack. It feeds up the hose into a pair of brushless motors, and it is fabulous. And I'm sure what you all really want to see is copious amounts of firing footage. And I want to see that too, so here we go! Next thing that I'm sure many of you, especially those who have actually seen, my video on it, are probably wondering, does this heads-up display actually go anywhere? Yes, it does. It feeds to this camera on the blaster and gives me a tiny display of what the blaster sees, which means, that's right, I can shoot around corners. It is done. And it's been a long time coming. Now, ne'er you fear, there will be plenty more firing footage. In fact, here's some now. This thing is entirely too much fun to fire. And there will be more firing footage down the line, and there will be silly skits and more tactically running about and all sorts of talk about it. This has been something I've wanted to build since I first saw Aliens when I was a small child. I wanted a smart gun. But then once I built Tyr, my minigun, and realized that this was something that I could actually make a functional smart gun, it's been hovering on the top of the build list ever since. I just didn't have everything that I needed to make it happen. And then this year, largely due to a single offhand comment by a member of the Auxiliary NCO Corps, I realized that I did have everything that I needed and that I could make this happen. And then started reaching out to people and looking at acquiring materials and all of that. And in about 2 weeks, I had it nearly prototyped. And then have spent the last 2 months finalizing it and getting filming and tweaking things and making corrections and dealing with, oh, that was bad and that was wrong and all of that. That'll all get gone into in the build video, because I do plan to do a full internals video on this, unlike Tyr, which I am still keeping secret whether you like it or not. This one I will show you exactly how I did it and how everything works, and it's not nearly as complicated as you might think. I do plan to add a few more features here and there, but for the most part, it's fairly straightforward. It feeds from a proton pack, which are now fairly common knowledge. There's several different varieties out there. It's brushless motors. While that may be magic to some of you, it was magic to me before I started doing this. Now that I know how to do it, it's, again, fairly straightforward. And so, yeah, it's not that much different than any other full auto rival blaster when you get right down to it, once you get past the brushless motors and stuff. Most of the complexity is, of course, in the cosmetics. This is obviously a wildly inefficient blaster. You could get something that was the size of an out-of-darts Jupiter that would be every bit, have the exact same function that this has as far as its ability to fire rounds downrange. This was always about the cosmetics. And if you've watched my channel for more than, this isn't your first video, you will know that I'm big into flashy cosmetic stuff. I'm a theater ponce. If I hadn't gone into computers, I'd have gone into theater. And so I like big flashy things, and I like having fancy gear and armor that makes me look all fancy and cool. Or at least in my head, it makes me look fancy and cool. And so this is really the culmination of that philosophy, because this is a ridiculously inefficient gun. It's 4 feet long and requires a steady cam arm to properly operate. It's ridiculous, and I love it. I love that I got to pull out knowledge and skills that I haven't used in a very long time in this build. Firing footage! Yes, I got to pull out old stuff that I haven't used in years since I got into Nerf. This thing requires an Arduino. This thing has an operating system. That is how complex it is. And I just got done saying it's simple. But it's a very simple operating system. It's what's called a real-time operating system. That just goes, is button pushed? No? Then I do nothing. Is button pushed? Yes, make the wheel spin! That's the extent of the operating system. That's really all that there is in there. But it did require me to be able to read code and alter code. And luckily, I happen to have a bachelor's degree in computer science. I am a fully qualified software engineer. That just isn't what I do for my day job. I do work with computers, but I don't do a lot of software engineering. I mostly alter a little bit of code here and there and copy files around. So this was the first time I really got to use that degree in a very long time. And I actually specifically took real-time operating systems in college. It was a course that I took. And so once I started tinkering with it, it all came back, and it really was amazing. Like, oh yeah, I do know how to do this. Like, okay, so here's the code that says when button pushed wheels spin. I need that button to also flip a MOSFET. So that means I need to make this pin high. When this, I need to put this line of code in here, and that will flip. Boom, boom, my backpack works. Hooray! All of that will get gone into in the full build video, because I do plan to do one. I'll show you all the internals and how everything works and all the wiring, and I'm really very, very pleased and impressed with how well it ended up coming together. So look forward to that video. The other thing that I got to use is I got to do armoring again. I had not made any armor in years, and for this, I wanted armor. Now, the Smartgunners in the movie don't wear armor, but as you may have noticed from the whole get-up, I wasn't making any attempt to be screen-accurate Colonial Marine. In fact, I was very specifically not trying to do that. I was going for a generic mercenary in that universe that just happened to have this same weapon. So it's Captain Xavier in the Aliens universe is what it is, which is fun because I'm goofy that way. But yeah, the Smartgunners didn't have the shin guards, they didn't have the shoulder armor, they didn't have the breastplate, they didn't have the helmet, they didn't have any of that, which I hadn't actually realized. I reached out to a company in England that makes the full armor for cosplay and asked how much for just the shins, and it was very expensive. But they pointed out to me, you do know the Smartgunners don't wear shins, right? I'm like, wait, what? Went back and watched the movie, and sure enough, Smartgunners don't have shin guards, armor, nothing. But I'm me. I like being the heavy armored character, so I decided, nah, I want the armor. But I decided not to go with the Space Marine armor because, one, they said it was very expensive, and two, very uncomfortable. And I don't want uncomfortable armor. I want comfortable armor. I want an armor that I can actually take a knee in, and they said you basically can't. The way these shin guards are designed, yeah, they'll look great for the way it looked in the movies, but they're not very well designed as far as armor goes. So I ended up going with my own. And I made the breastplate, and I made the shoulder armors, and all of that. Again, that'll be in the gear, a separate video. There will be a gear video on all of the gear that went along with this. The armor, the backpack, the vest, all of that will have its own video. Let's have some more firing footage. It just never gets old, ever. It's just so much fun. One of the things that absolutely baffled me when I finally started getting this together and was able to actually hook it up to the Steadicam arm vest for the first time was how incredibly functional that concept is. I figured, or I'd always thought it was, it was gimmicky and it probably didn't work very well, and it was all Hollywood magic. And it turns out, no, it's incredibly functional. Here's me talking about it with it on. I wanted to talk briefly about the whole Steadicam gimbal arm thing, which is absolutely amazing because it does in fact make the blaster weightless. I'm just holding it in place with one finger, but it holds itself up, which is nice because this is a like 6.5 pound blaster, which makes it comparable to a real firearm, and you would never be able to hold a weapon in this position for very long. The ones in the movies are made from actual MG42s, which are 25 pounds, which would make it absolutely impossible to carry like that without the arm. But with the arm, it's weightless. And the way the vest is supported, it straps at the rib cage, it straps at the waist, it goes over the shoulders. You really can't feel it at all. It just distributes it so perfectly over your whole frame that, I mean, you could wear it all day and never get tired. And because it is a Steadicam arm, the blaster doesn't move nearly as much as I do. So I can be running, I can go up and down stairs, and the blaster stays steady, which makes aiming so cool. I also really expected it to limit the traverse that you could get, but it turns out it doesn't. If I plant my feet, I can get almost a 360 arc with this, which is more than you can generally get with a shouldered rifle. And because I can in fact see what the blaster sees, I can still aim perfectly even though I'm twisted all the way around and can't look down the barrel. I can look at the heads-up display and see what I'm aiming at. So it is wonderfully, eminently functional. You can tuck it in sideways and go through a doorway as wide as you are. In fact, you can go through a really narrow doorway, as seen here. As many of you have seen from the firing footage, like this firing footage, it is not the most accurate thing in the world. It kind of spray and pray. Now, part of that is the fact that it was windy when I was filming this, and rival round are very susceptible to wind. But it's also its rival firing at 150 FPS, and rival at 150 FPS tends to become very inaccurate. I am actually planning to add features so that I can reduce the FPS down to something closer to between 100 and 120 for use at like HVZ or Afterworlds or something like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a lot more accurate. I am very, very pleased with how it performs so far. There were a lot of teething issues early on where the backpack wasn't feeding well, and I thought that might have been a problem with the blaster, and realized no, it was the backpack feed. Made some alterations to the backpack feed, and that solved that issues, and then had issues with the original flywheel cage design. Again, all of that I go into in the build video. So there is somebody out there who makes a 3D printed M41, and I have commissioned them to make me one because I want one. Plus I really want to do a photo shoot with me with this and a crew member with that, and then we're going to have to come up with something that looks like the Flamer, and there'll be some fun pictures at one of the forts when this plague is over. it is now damp. It has started pouring rain, as you can know down here. But that's it. This was an absolutely amazing project to finally build. Obviously, I would love for this video to go as viral as Tears did. So like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that jazz. If anybody knows anyone in the Aliens cosplay community, let them know, because I would love to get into that. I've wanted to get into cosplay for a while, and so this is, maybe this will be my ticket. But let me know what you guys think of it, seriously. If you're from the Aliens cosplay community, let me know if there are any resources I could have used that might have been able to make this better, or that I might be able to, improve on this in the future, because that would be fantastic. I always tinker with things. I've been tinkering with Tears since I built it, so, I have no problem with changing things out or improving things if better options come along. Let's take a look at some more ridiculous footage we took up at Fort Worden, because we had entirely too much fun up there.
What are we doing here again?
Company wants a specimen, apparently.
Isn't that a job for the Marines?
Marines tend to shoot first and ask questions later. They don't tend to bring back anything alive.
Weren't you a Marine?
Yup.
What happened?
Dishonorable discharge.
For what?
Shooting first, asking questions later. Command, I've lost my mooks. I need some reinforcements. Yeah, I can wait. I'm not going anywhere. 5 minutes, lovely, okay.
Reporting in, what's the situation?
You guys look very familiar. Twins?
No, androids. Wait, Yutani ain't gonna pay for us.
Good point. Yeah, that would involve life insurance and all of that. Did they brief you at all?
Not a bit.
Lovely. Get in there. Get in there. Yeah, I'm gonna need more mooks. Let's just send all the mooks. Yeah. Both models. I'll take a dozen. Cool. I don't think there's any way out. We've got him pinned. Get in there and grab him. Go! Go for the feet! The tail! Get in there! They almost got him! Get in there! Go! Yeah! Get the arms! Watch out for the tail! Oh. Yeah, they need more! We need more! Go! Get in there! Get in there! Yeah, we need another one! Go! Where do they get you guys? Rent them and get in there! How many of them are? Oh, come on! Full trial! Get in there and get him! Get them! Murder them! Murder the monster! Get him! Murder, I say! Eat him! Bite him on the face! The kid's got more guts than you! Get in there! Go! Aim for the... No! Somebody grab that tongue thing!
There's a tongue?
Wait! Go! No, your shit! Come on, we need more reinforcements. What do we got? Who do we got? You know you all look the same?
That's true.
Keep going. No, yeah, I think if you try to impale yourself on the claws so that he can't get the next one. There's somebody in there, you should be able to just dog punch. Come on. What? Get in there! Come on! Little. Get the... come on! Alright, I think we just need one more. You, go! Get in there! Perfect! There are now so many stuck on his tail, he can't stab another one. Get in there and get him! Come on! Come, get him! There. Alright, let's rock! Yep. Silly. So let me know what you think of this. let me know what you think would be a good build for next year. A couple of people, in guessing what they thought I was going to do this year, gave me some fabulous ideas for next year. And again, cosplay stuff, heavy person stuff. Obviously, the heavy Mandalorian from the Mandalorian series is high on that list. There's a couple of other ones that are out there, but let me know what you guys think would be a good one. That pretty much just leaves me needing to thank the people that I believe need thanked and that I can remember that need thanked. There are certainly going to be people that I left off this list, and if you're one of those people, ping me, call me a schmuck, and I will make sure that you get mentioned in the build video, which will go into all of the individual contributions. So, in no particular order, Sergeant Armor of the Auxiliary, the Nerf Curator, Jesse from FDL, Airzone, Out of Darts, Martin R1000, Zagadka, NPN, Ultrasonic 2, Justin Sprecher, Sergeant Deplorable, Crewman Recruit Rocket, Crewman Luchathor, all of the crew, really. The entirety of the Auxiliary NCO Corps for, putting up with my near complete absence while I was working on this project. Dr. Flux, and Dr. Flux's brother, whose name I cannot remember at this time. I think it's Zach. It could be Zach. He helps you with your project and you can't be bothered to remember his name. I do not need this grief from the likes of you, sir. Anyway, if I've left you off the list, it's not that I don't think you deserve credit, it's that I don't remember. For instance, I forgot to give Walcom S7 credit for his contribution in Tears video. It was his idea to use an XBZ as the underbarreled air tank. I was going to use a Titan, and it would not have worked. But he recommended using an XBZ, and it worked perfectly. And it was one of the things that really made the project come together, and then I completely forgot to acknowledge him in that video. So it's not that I don't think your contribution is worthy or valid, it's that I just don't remember it. So ping me, call me a schmuck, and I will make sure that your contribution gets mentioned in the build video where, like I said, I will go into the specifics of each individual's part, what part was theirs, what they did, because it's really cool how many people were involved in this and helped make this happen, and I like giving people credit for things like that, so let me know. There it is, that's it, I'm done. Thank you guys for watching. Garden Weasel, get yourself one.